Thank you, Wayne. And thank you to the Douglas County Citizens for Liberty for inviting me to speak here tonight. Did you all enjoy the presentation from Mayor Euland? That was great, wasn't it? This is the kind of forum that I enjoy attending because it's not just me getting up here and giving a speech, but I actually have a chance to learn from experience that other people have. And this also fits nicely in my campaign, because I think that a candidate's campaign should not be so much about themselves as it should be about the issues that affect all of us. I believe in my campaign that I need to educate people, and I need to be educated myself by citizens on issues in which they have expertise. And to that effect, I have some literature that I brought on some of the issues that are important to me, and so please help yourself to them before leaving tonight. I don't really like talking about myself because my campaign is not about me. It's actually about preserving our freedoms, and it's about holding our elected officials accountable. It's about returning to a government that's for the people, by the people. However, I do know that some people aren't really familiar with me and they don't know me, so I put together a brief bio to sort of introduce myself. I grew up in rural Norwood, where I attended school. I completed a 2-year course in vocational welding. After graduating high school, I married my wife of 23 years, Mary Cody, and I later attended OTC and MSU. We started our own cattle farm where we're living today, raising our 3 children, Ashley, Kyle, and Sydney. The kids go to Norwood Public Schools, and they're helping their dad campaign this summer. I'm also a Christian man. I was saved at a young age, and my family and I attend church at the Highway of Holiness in Macomb. I'm a journeyman tool and die tradesman with 25 years experience in industrial manufacturing. I'm currently a supervisor at the Beeler Corporation in Mountain Grove. I was raised on a family farm where hard work was the norm and luxuries were rare. My father was a minister who drilled me daily on the virtues of honesty and openness, the benefits of maintaining good character, and the value of a good name. I learned the principles of responsibility and selflessness, that a man's word was his bond. He taught me to uphold what's right and to stand firm in what I believe. These are the principles that I live my life by today, and these are the principles that I'm going to take to Jefferson City. So tonight I want to tell you where I stand on a few issues and tell you some things I want to accomplish at the state capitol. I'm a traditional conservative. I believe in the individual's right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But I also believe that coupled with those rights is a personal responsibility for ourselves and our actions. I believe in the Constitution as drafted by our ancestors, that the first 10 amendments, known as the Bill of Rights, are guaranteed to us forever, regardless of any social, economic, technological, or militaristic changes in our society. I am pro-gun because the Constitution guarantees us the right to keep and bear arms. This isn't limited to hunting clubs or target ranges, but we have the right to defend ourselves and our families. I'm also pro-property rights. I oppose Missouri's practice of property condemnation for private development. And as a cattle farmer and landowner, I will fight a mandatory animal identification system, the national ID card, and eminent domain abuse. I'm pro-life. Missouri has taken some positive steps in reducing the number of abortions in recent years, and we must continue to work to reduce those numbers even further. I also support an expectant mother's right to a midwife, and I will work with advocate groups to legalize the practice of licensed midwifery. When it comes to education, I believe parents, teachers, and local school systems know best how to teach our children. State involvement should be very limited, and the federal government should not be involved at all. I believe in our public schools that parents have the right to decide if their child participates in sex education classes or studies the theory of evolution. Our schools should have a course that teaches children respect and responsibility, 2 characteristics that are greatly missing in our society today. I believe our local school system should have the right to place the 10 Commandments on the lunchroom wall. I also support a parent's right to homeschool their children, and I will fight against restrictive measures like those proposed in the state of California. I believe in low taxes and small government. As individuals, we have to live within our budget and prioritize our spending. The federal and state government should do the same. Instead of raising taxes to fund programs, we should prioritize our needs and look at ways to cut spending to support those programs. We must return to common sense government, and I have a plan to do that. We need a constitutional impact analysis attached to every piece of legislation, indicating any possible conflict with our constitutional rights. We should have a Read the Bills Act that would require lawmakers to read every bill and every amendment and rider attached to that bill before voting for it. We need to implement a one subject at a time act where each item stands on its own merit, eliminating riders and amendments altogether. These three bills will hold our lawmakers accountable to us and eliminate virtually all the pork and special interest projects. I believe in open government, and I think that it's time that we accept responsibility for our actions on all levels of government and return to being servants of the people. I believe that as your representative, I should be accountable to you for my actions and my conduct while at the state capitol. In my campaign, I will not take money from PACs, lobbyists, or other special interest groups. I will be obligated only to the people of my district. One of my biggest concerns today is employment opportunities in our area. Many people I've met drive long distances to work due to the lack of jobs. Others have children that's moved away for the same reason. This negatively affects our local businesses because people tend to spend money in the areas where they work. This also pulls revenue away from our county and city governments who struggle daily to balance community needs against available funds. We need to bring these dollars back into our district, and I will work closely with economic expansion teams to create more jobs and keep our children and their families close to home. Finally, I want to involve the residents of our district in the legislative process. I believe that we as citizens should be writing legislation right here in our own district to send to the state capitol. Who understands dairy issues better than the dairy farmer? Who understands small business better than our local small-town business owners? Do attorneys in St. Louis have more understanding about the impact of property rights than the thousands of small farmers across the state? I think that District 144 should set an example to the rest of the state that we, the people, are in charge. Our elected officials work for us, and our voices will be heard. I want to form citizen groups to examine pending legislation and offer proactive suggestions to solve the problems that we face today. I think the best way to do this is through town hall meetings at various locations throughout the district. I believe that when people come together, communicate, and work towards a common goal, we can find the solutions to our issues here at home. I've been asked many times why I'm running for office when this is such a bad year for Republicans. My answer is best expressed with a quote from Ronald Reagan. If not us, then who? If not now, then when? The need for action has never been as urgent as it is today. The who is us, we the people. The time is now. We can no longer afford to wait for someone else to take action. This election cycle may well determine whether our future is grim, with continued loss of freedoms and quality of life, or bright, with the prospects of renewed liberty and prosperity. So tonight I'm asking for your vote. I need your support. Join me and let's work together and make our district and our state a better place for ourselves, our children, and our grandchildren. God bless each one, and God bless America. Thank you.